Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Pa, are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
Welcome back. We are here today with the fellas. Got two gentlemen ready to draft. Yeah, that's right. We're doing our fourth draft of the 80s Cafe. This is a fun opportunity to learn about the 1986 movies. Welcome, gentlemen. I got Michael and Jason with me today. First time with these guys together. I cannot wait. A lot of fun that we're going to have today. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing well.
Yes.
Yeah, doing great. Excited to get this draft started.
Excited to lose. I've never seen two gentlemen ready to lose more in my life.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Moving on. Anyway.
Well, this is one of the things we love doing on the 80s Cafe. This is our fourth draft, as I mentioned before. And we'll talk a little bit about the rules, but this is a draft that we are going to be doing for the movies of 1986. This is a 40-year anniversary. Michael and I did a pod recently on the entire year 1986, so check that out. We've also done a 1986 Billboard bracket for music. That was a lot of fun with Dean and Michael. So we are now tapping into the movie aspect of this year. And before we talk about 1986, I'd love to hear about what our guys were doing during this time. We didn't know each other back in 1986, even though we're good buddies now. We were at different ages at this point, so it's nice to talk about a little bit about what we were doing, because I know with our age differences, we will view things slightly different from this year. Michael, you are the elder statesman of the group. Hence your love for the Golden Girls. If you haven't figured that one out, check out the podcast we did on the sitcoms draft. That was something, Michael, near and dear to his heart. But tell us what you were doing in 1980. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from the last pod, you were 21, right?
Yes, I was 21, East Carolina University.
Nice.
And,
so you were the only one legally able to drink.
Yeah, I really was.
During this time of this year.
I'm crazy enough without alcohol. So anyway, when you add that,
actually, you were actually capable of going into an R-rated movie, which I was not in 1986. I needed an adult with me.
I don't think I went to a whole lot of movies at the time.
Right. Wasn't your thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, at East Carolina, I mean, you would get together.
Right.
I mean, there was a $1.50 movie, and we went to go see that. We would, because it was cheap.
Well, when you're a 10-year-old like I was, and Jason, that was really what all you loved to do, right, Jason? I mean, this was my thing, was going to the movies. I mean, whether it was with my buddies or with my dad, I love going to the movies at this age.
Yeah, it was just a big treat.
Yeah.
It was like a special occasion when you got to go to the movies.
That's right. There are some movies that this year we're going to look at that are some of our favorites for the entire decade. I can probably talk to these guys about this independently before we hit this podcast, but there's some movies that are on my cafe wall here, and clearly they're some of the best movies of the decade and some special qualities about this year. But I did find something interesting about 1986 that I wanted to share with you guys. This year was the actual first year of the decade. It ended a 6-year run of $200 million movies, a list of movies that made the highest grossing films of this time. Not one movie hit the 200 million mark, and it was the first time since 1979. I thought that was a little bit surprising because this is a great year for movies. But if you go back and start from 1980 all the way to 1985, there's at least one movie that capped the $200 million gross figure. Let's see if we can name them. What do you think? From 1980 to 85, what movies do you think would hit a $200 million threshold? We've got some Spielberg in here.
Yeah.
We got some Robert Zemeckis. What do you guys think?
E.T.?
E.T., 1982.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good, yeah.
That was the one in 82. Yeah. Feel free to look on the wall in the cafe because I can promise you most of them are here. Trying to give my guys a little bit of a head start on this. So one in 1980, one in 81. E.T. was 82.
Okay.
One in 83, two in 84,
Okay.
and one in 85. And all but one of them are represented in the cafe. The one in 1983 was not.
Okay. This is from 85, right?
Yeah, there's an 85. Yep.
80. Okay.
Yep.
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters is correct. 1984. And 84 also has another one.
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid was 84. It did not hit the 200 million.
Did it not?
It did not. No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would have thought maybe it did. Well,
The other hint is that one of them spawned four sequels, and two of them are sequels. How about that?
Indiana Jones?
There's one,
Yeah.
1981, Raiders of the Lost Ark. You're missing 80, 83, the other 84, and 85. All in the cafe.
I don't know, man. I mean,
All right, 1980, we get Empire Strikes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So,
81 was Raiders. 82 is E.T., as you already mentioned. 1983, Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
1984, you did say Ghostbusters, but the one that made more money than Ghostbusters, Mr. Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
That was one I was going to say, but I thought.
And the
it might be
last one, 1985, To the Future.
one.
Yes. So what did 1986 contain when it comes to movies? So we get a double dose of Tom Cruise. Know those two movies, right?
Mhm.
We get Top Gun, Color Money. We get a year where both Stallone and Arnold punch out some action movies, but neither of them are their best. This is not a year for Arnold and
Very
Sly,
obscure.
but this is one of the few years that both of them, or if not one of them, has a dominant movie, right? So we get Cobra and Raw Deal. Not the best movies for either of the two. So at this point, who do you think has the title belt for action if we're right here in 1986 between Arnold and Stallone? Arnold has done thus far Conan, both Conans, Barbarian and Destroyer. You get Terminator, you get Red Sonja, and you get Commando. There's where we are in 86. For Stallone, you get Rocky 1 through 4, First Blood, and Rambo.
How did Rocky 4 not make 200 million?
Rocky. Okay, well, we're going to talk about Rocky 4 in just a minute.
Okay, all right.
Because Rocky 4 will not count for this podcast. We'll talk about that shortly. So we get a double.
Oh, okay.
So who do we have? Who's got the belt there? I would say Stallone at this
I
point.
would,
yeah.
to me.
Yeah. But Arnold's coming.
Yeah. I would just say at this point, Stallone's a better actor.
But if you're talking about in 86 and you have to cap it at that point, I
Yeah.
think it's Stallone's got the
yeah, I
belt.
do.
But I think Arnold takes it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His brightest moments are yet to come.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Conan and Terminator and Commando, nothing to sneeze at. But when you get all four Rockies plus First Blood and Rambo, hard to beat.
Yeah.
So in 1986, we get a double dose of John Hughes, right? We get two movies from John Hughes. We get two Stephen King adaptations. Very important figure in the decade of the 80s. Stephen King, one of my favorite authors. We get one of our three main slasher horror characters. That's Mr. Jason, not you.
Oh, okay.
Friday 13th, Part 6.
His
Yep.
basketball players might.
Yes.
Yes.
No, anyway.
We get a remake horror classic from 1958. Did you catch that one?
Psycho.
The Fly.
The Fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get a prequel
That was free.
to one of the most successful and popular horror movies of all time.
You get a
prequel.
prequel.
Yes. This was a movie with William Peterson. I don't know if you remember the actor William Peterson.
I do.
Yep, he was
vaguely.
he was the first lead detective in CSI.
Okay.
He's been in a bunch of movies.
Right.
But that's where most recently we probably remember him. He was also in Young Guns too. A really good actor, but this was Manhunter. Manhunter was the prequel to Silence of the Lambs.
Wow.
1986. Michael Mann, the director, one of our better directors of our time.
Wow.
We get 7 sequels in the top 100. Care to name any of them? 7 sequels
Sequels.
that you remember when we were looking at
Police Academy 3.
Police Academy 3 is up there. Yes.
Karate Kid 2.
Kid 2 is up
Karate
there.
Kid
Yes.
2, yeah.
We already said Friday 13th Part 6.
Yeah.
We get Star Trek 4.
Oh, that's true.
We get Poltergeist 2. The Other Side.
Was that even a good movie?
No,
I don't even know. I didn't even.
I'll be willing to bet very few of these were good.
Yeah,
we get Psycho 3. You were mentioning Psycho.
Yeah,
there we go. Psycho
mm-hmm.
3. We get Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So there we seven sequels.
Yeah.
7 sequels. Okay. In 1986, we also get 2 sequels that don't have numbers or additional words attached to their titles. So what do I mean by that? We don't have part 2 or Roman numeral 2 or 3 or 4. They're just standalone names and titles, but they are sequels. All right. The first one is Aliens. Aliens is the sequel to Alien.
Aliens.
Yes.
Okay.
1986. Yes. So that was one of the top 15 movies of this 1986 year. And then we get The Color of Money with Tom Cruise and Paul Newman. Now, if you're not aware, that was the sequel to Paul Newman's The Hustler.
Oh, okay.
1968. So, no words attached to them to suggest that they're sequels.
Connect it to
but they were 100% sequels.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we get a seminal year for directors. Now, I will admit, these movies are not their individual bests. But when I started looking at the list of directors, and I started thinking, man, look at all the directors of this particular year. And it just goes to show you what an impactful year it was in film. Tony Scott in Top Gun. Tony Scott's one of our better directors for action-packed movies. We get James Cameron for Aliens. We get John Hughes, Ferris Bueller, and Pretty in Pink. Michael, we talked about Rob Reiner on a previous pod. We get Rob Reiner for Stand By Me.
Yep.
We get Martin Scorsese for Color of Money. And we get Oliver Stone in Platoon.
Yeah.
Incredible list of directors. Who's missing? Who's the one director you would go?
Spielberg.
Yeah. So where's Spielberg at this time? Well, he had just done The Color Purple.
Yeah.
And that was in 1985. But he took a year off of directing directing film. And he was directing a television show. I'm not sure if you guys saw it. I remember loving it on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock on NBC. And that was Amazing Stories. Amazing Stories was every week you had two episodes, 30-minute episodes. So it was an hour-long show. And these episodes were either horror, creepy, sci-fi, fantasy, you name it. It just went all through the genres. But it had all kinds of interesting tales and stories, hence the name Amazing Stories. And if you go back and look at the show, you will see a ton of actors who played small roles that you would go, wow, I don't know that they were even in this show. So that was on for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we did not see Spielberg in 1986.
Well, it wasn't like he wasn't busy.
Now, he did actually have a role in a movie in 1986, but he didn't direct it. And that was An American Tail. I was 10 years old. It was a cartoon. It was an animated movie. So I remember seeing it. But he did have a hand in producing that. So if you're saying there's any kind of tentacles that he can spread out in 1986, yeah, you do have An American Tail. Both of you see that? I saw it in the theater. I remember.
I didn't know.
No, yeah.
I didn't see it in the theater.
Little mouth. Is it Feifel?
Feifel.
Yeah. Good movie. Okay. So finally, we also get a year in 1986 that contains arguably, one of the best debut years that I've ever seen a group of actors come into. The sheer number of actors and talented ones that we all will remember. And in 1986, even though these are not incredibly large roles of these characters, and I'll be honest, I looked at the 17 different movies that are listed here, and I've only seen 5. But the 17 actors, when you say this is the first time you will see them in Hollywood, I was amazed at in this one year how many different actors began their career in 1986. So I'm going to read some of these names off to you and see if you recognize the names at first, and then I can kind of throw out where you probably should recognize them based on their name. John Lovitz. First movie, 1986. Hamburger, the movie.
Yeah, okay.
John C. McGinley. Now, McGinley, the name itself is not really well known, but if you go back, he's the lead detective in Point Break, which I love.
Okay.
He's also in Platoon.
Okay.
And he's also in Wall Street. Jason Patrick, he was one of the actors in Lost Boys.
Lost Boys,
Yeah.
right.
So he was in Solar Babies, which I did not see. Jerry O'Connell, Stand By Me, first movie.
Yep.
Ted Levine. All right, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the character that he's most known for, James Gum.
I'm just as lost.
I'm still.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
So his first movie, One More Saturday Night. Never seen it, but this is the first time we see him.
Oh wow!
Okay, Kelly Lynch, blonde head. She was in Roadhouse, and she was also in Cocktail, the girlfriend at the end in Cocktail. So her first movie.
It's just so sad that she got typecast. As
Yes.
the bar. Oh, no.
Yeah. Pity her. And she got to romanticize with Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze. Poor thing. Poor thing. All right.
What a rough way to make a
That's
living.
it.
That's a 2-year span, by the way. Well done, Kelly. Joaquin Phoenix. Debut year. Joaquin Phoenix was in Space Camp.
Space Camp.
Yes. A movie that I mentioned to you when we had the 1986 pod with Leah Thompson. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, young boy in that. Keanu Reeves, first time 1986.
Really?
Yes.
First time.
Young Blood, never saw it. I love this one. Ving Rhames.
First time.
First time.
Oh wow.
All of these 1986. This is again this introduction of all these actors we're going to fall in love with later and see. But I just thought this was really compelling to see all these different names. He was in Native Son. Never heard it. Never heard of it. Never saw it. Yeah.
Richard Wright. Sorry.
Winona Ryder. She was in Lucas, which is a movie that I thought maybe one of you might choose for this particular pod, but that's all right. Wesley Snipes in Wildcats.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Wesley. We would get a Wildcat.
Oh, he's bet on the black.
Christy Swanson. Pretty in Pink. First movie. Okay. Yeah. Ready for this one? Kevin Spacey.
No, are you serious?
Really?
First? He seems older.
Yes,
again.
Yeah.
Heartburn. Never. No, I don't have it. It's the movie. Never heard of it. Yes, never heard of it. Okay. Billy Bob Thornton. First movie.
Which one?
Hunter's Blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I got two more. Robin Wright Penn. In this case, Robin Wright. Forrest Gump, and she's one of my favorite actresses. She was in Hollywood Vice Squad. Never saw that. And then I'll end with a really talented actor. And I actually knew this one because I love this movie so much. Bill Pullman.
Oh, wow.
And Ruthless People.
Okay.
Yeah, with Danny DeVito. So, thoughts on 17 actors beginning their career in 1986, and we didn't even know it.
I thought, are you going to go? I thought you were going to say Johnny Depp in Platoon. I've watched Platoon, and I did not even know he was in it.
Yeah,
until
I actually watched it the other day for this pod, and I didn't even realize it until I saw the credits at the beginning when they walk into the job. But his name is not on this list. So what movie he began, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just found that fascinating. I'm like, holy.
Well, the whole cast. Well, we might talk about that later. Yeah, that cast is pretty interesting.
I think it's interesting that list. You've got people of drastically different ages, but they're all making their movie debut.
Right. Now, the list of the movies weren't that compelling. I mean, again, I'd only seen Pretty in Pink, Wildcats, Space Camp, Stand By Me, and Ruthless People. Those were my 5. So the rest of these just, obviously were not anything worthy of discussion. But the fact that they all began in 1986, I figured you guys would enjoy hearing that.
That's amazing.
Okay. Let's talk about the draft. So this is actually a year when I messaged to you guys. Normally when we do drafts, we like to compartmentalize these into categories, and it makes it a little bit more challenging to draft. But with that said, I wanted to make sure you guys were okay with this. And the more I looked at this year's list of movies, it just seemed like it made a lot more sense to just go for the entire group, not even to put them in any kind of categories. Let's just draft what we draft. If we have 4 comedies and a horror, 3 action and 2 comedies, so be it. And I think it goes to say that this year there were some categories I felt like were a little short, and then some that were heavy. But you know what? At the end of the day, we really want to pick the movies that we really want to talk about and enjoy. So you guys were good with that.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So normally we would do categories, but we're not going to do that. But we do want to talk about one little caveat. And I think, Michael, I want to make sure you're okay with this too, because you just mentioned something about Rocky IV.
Yeah.
And in some cases, we get movies that are released in November and December, and they make more money in one given year. But what we are going to stick to are the years that they actually were released in. Okay. So Rocky IV, perfect example. You mentioned it earlier. It was released in November of 85, but naturally it made the bulk of its money in 86. So this was really a 1985 movie, not an 86 movie. So we're going to throw that one out. And another example would have been The Color Purple. Look, there will be, if he dies, there will be a time where we will talk about Rocky IV. And I know Jason wants to be on that. I know you want to be on that. It's one of the best movies of the decade, for sure.
I've already drafted it.
You've already drafted it.
I was prepared to draft it again.
That was the sequels draft, correct. Well, we're going to hold off on those movies in 85. The other one I was going to give an example was The Color Purple. A lot of Oscar nominations, Steven Spielberg, at the end of 85, but the bulk of its money was made in 86. And naturally, a lot of these movies come out. Some of them come out because of holiday reasons. The Color Purple would be a perfect example of one trying to accumulate as many Oscars as possible. And they like to throw those in December, knowing that the Oscars are going to be in February. So we're going to leave those out. But the way we're going to draft is it's called a snake draft. So I will actually get the first pick. We decided off air who was going to have pick one. Michael's going to pick second. Jason's going to pick third. And then Jason would, because it's a snake draft, will get both the third and the fourth pick. And then we continue to circle back. All right. So Michael, the advantage for you is you will never have to go longer than two picks before you get to choose. The advantage for me is that I get the pick of the litter. Knowing that I get the first pick, I can pick whatever I want. Nobody can take it from me. And that is why I chose the first pick, because there's a movie near and dear to my heart that no one is going to take from me. And then Jason's, the advantage of his pick making third is that he will actually he's the only one that will get the two best choices for him out of four. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to get two picks in the top four but him. So there's an advantage to all three choices, and we got them ready to roll. Okay. Are we ready to fire this draft off? I cannot wait. All right. Do you guys have an idea? Because the thing is, I really thought about taking the second choice and possibly leaving the first choice to either Mike or Jason. And I think I would have left it at 2. I would have taken the second choice because I know Jason is going to take something with his first choice, which is fine by me.
Yeah.
But I was scared that he might actually steal this anyway. But do you know where I'm going with choice 1? I'll let you guys take a stand.
I would have stole.
You would have taken it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I made the right call.
You did.
Perfect.
I think you're going to take Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
110%.
I said the only way I would have taken that one would have been to get under your skin and just.
That's why. See, audience, this is why I chose pick 1. Because these guys aren't really picking to their heart. They're trying to just steal my draft because they know that's the only way they're going to have an opportunity to beat me. But the first pick off the board will be Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I have not done this on this pod yet. And I don't know when I'm going to do it. But I can promise you, buckle up, because it'll be a 2-hour plus soliloquy of everything good about this movie. There's nothing negative I can say. First of all, thank God no one took this. I'm glad I was able to have it. I would have been very disappointed had I not been able to select this. It's like one of my children. I've been dying to talk about this movie on this podcast for a long time, but we're going to save the majority of that conversation for the day that we actually do this. But what is so good about this movie? I mean, we can name 100 different things. The first thing I'll say is, nostalgic-wise, I did see this in the theater. Did any of you see this in the theater? Do you remember seeing it?
I remember seeing it, not in theater, though.
Yeah, same with me.
So it came out in June of 1986, and one of my favorite things to do with my dad over the summer was to go to movies. And so we took the whole family to see this movie, and I will tell you, I left that movie completely captivated. Number one, it was the first movie I'd ever seen that broke the fourth wall. You're watching the movie, and less than 3 minutes into the movie, he's talking to the audience.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen this before. Never seen this fourth wall trope ever. And it carried not just in the beginning of the movie or in the first 10 minutes. It was throughout the entire movie. He is talking to us like we are his friends, following his day off and doing everything that he's doing. This was one of the movies I laughed out loud so much. People were turning around looking at me going, what the hell's wrong with that kid? The fact that he had a girlfriend named Sloan, which is my name.
Yeah.
And she was incredibly hot. I mean, you can Edward Rooney, again, one of my villains that I drafted in the villains draft, one of the funniest guys in a movie that you just want to see fail, and he does over and over again. And he's incredibly funny. But at the same time, you can almost relate to him, even though he was a senior in high school and I'm a 10-year-old. I wanted to be him. I mean, I left that theater wanting to be Matthew Broderick, wanting to be Ferris Bueller. He was just the coolest character I'd ever seen in a movie. I do think it's the number one movie of John Hughes. It does edge out Breakfast Club to me by a small margin, but enough to say that it's one of my favorite movies, not just from Hughes, not just from 1986, but in the entire decade and ever. I mean, it's literally one of the movies that I can watch over. I can quote it over and over again. It was one of the first video cassettes that I bought. My mom got me for Christmas, and I watched it just religiously. Every single nuance to this movie is ingrained in my mind. So much so that I went to Chicago and actually filmed myself in these parts with Stace to all the different places that we're filming in this movie and all the different locations. It is again one of my favorite movies of all time, not just in 1986, and I'm glad it stays with me. Thoughts, Ferris Bueller?
I just know at 21, a high school kid taking the day off, probably not on my radar that much.
It doesn't sound like it.
But anyway, I like, there were a lot of sight gags in there that I just enjoyed. But the one that stuck out in my head was when I think the principal was on the phone and the TV's in the background and he's catching the.
So he goes to the pizza parlor,
yeah,
and he just got spit on by a girl that looks like Ferris wearing the same jacket, right? So she spits because he walks up to her and he goes, he doesn't know it's a woman. He thinks it's Ferris. He says, I finally found your ass is mine. And she turns around and it's a girl. So she spits her Coke in his face, and he's cleaning his face off, and there's a chef behind the counter watching the Cubs game, and Rooney goes, "What's the score?" And the cook goes, "Nothing." And Rooney goes, "Who's winning?" So here's what the chef said: "The Bears." Rooney doesn't bat an eye, has no clue. You could tell he has no knowledge of sports whatsoever. But yeah. Jeffrey Jones is the actor who played Edward Rooney, and again, there's so many good actors in this movie. Everything was well done. Yeah, Chicago was amazing in this movie. If you've never been to Chicago, you just feel like you've been there once you've seen this movie. And I've seen this movie again 1,000 times, and then going to Chicago, it was just a treat to walk around and know that this was where the majority of Ferris was filmed. Jason, your thoughts on it?
I think a lot.
It was on your list
because being younger, getting to skip school, would have been at the top of the list, right? And just being enamored in the ways that he came up to deceive the school. It's amazing. Deceive his principal.
It's amazing. And then you get Jennifer Grey, the sister, and again, having an older sister, we fought a lot, and my sister always got mad if I got away with something. I mean, I can relate to practically everything that this guy did.
But even having a friend.
Cameron is amazing.
He's convincing Cameron to do things that Cameron really doesn't want to do.
I did catch somebody on a Reddit thread mention the fact that this is actually not a Ferris Bueller movie. This is a Cameron Fry movie. Really, it's taken from it should be from his perspective and the things that go on. Even talking about the dad that obviously didn't treat him well, the car. All of that would be in Cameron's dad. This is really more about Cameron than it is more about Ferris, which I thought, man, as a kid, I never would have thought. I mean, there's no way, no chance. But the more I go back and think about it, it makes a lot of sense. But so many different things about this movie that I love. Okay, 1986, Michael, you are up. You're already complaining about your first pick. You're already upset. It's pick one. You have your first choice.
Didn't even write Ferris Bueller on my list.
Well, that was your problem.
So that means Michael is literally going to get
You're in. Yeah.
And I'm still not happy. Okay. Actually, I did. I wrote Ferris at the very bottom, but I was not with much conviction. But anyway, that it would be there.
Don't make me take your 80s.
Okay, here we go. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm going to go comedy just because I'm going to base this off what I would really enjoy seeing.
This is your movie.
I'm going to take Three Amigos.
Oh,
yeah,
good call.
I'm going to take Three Amigos.
All right, give us your case.
All right, and my thing is that now these three, Chevy Chase and Martin Short, and which this was a breakout role for Martin Short.
Yeah,
was a good career.
Yeah, the other two were a lot more established.
Yeah, they were, but he actually got a whole lot more and did some good work too. But anyway, they developed a friendship, especially Short and Steve Martin,
right? Who
still do stuff today.
Right.
They're in the Murder in the Building. Whatever.
Correct. Yeah, they've been together for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Father the Bride 1 and 2.
And I still think Chevy Chase has a good name with them, though a lot of people,
sure.
If you look at the bio on him that just came out. But anyway, the only thing I had a question about throughout the whole movie, and to me it was a source of some comedy, was the outfits that they wore. I'm like, what was the kind of motif was the costume designer going for? Gay caballero, gay.
I think to be as
matador
as possible, so that when they did go to Mexico, they stood out like a sore thumb.
I'm like, but that was part of the funny of it. And I probably my favorite was Chevy Chase, but next a close second would be Martin Short. But Chevy, just to be, had all of the when El Guapo, and then when he was trying to pass himself off as one of them. We raped the horses and rode off on the women.
And they kept saying, yeah. And after about the fourth time, El Guapo's looking like, I don't remember shit from this.
Guy? Yeah, anyway.
So your preference was Dusty Bottoms.
Yeah, little Neddy Niederlander. Anyway. Yeah.
This was such a quotable movie
I was
younger. I mean, it had so many. I mean, going to the word plethora. I'd never known this word until this movie. Would you say we have a plethora? I had seen Steve Martin before this in All of Me and the Jerk, and those are adult movies, really kind of comedies. So they weren't really anything. This was the movie that broke him out to me. As a kid, this is the one that stood out to me as the first Steve Martin appearance in terms of what mattered to me in my life. He goes on right after this to do Planes, Trains, which we've done already on this pod. We've done. We're going to do Roxanne and Parenthood, but this is the one that really stood out to me for him. And Chevy Chase had already done both Vacations, European and national.
Oh wow!
First two. And so I had known him. And Martin Short, as you pointed out, great. He was in Canada for a lot of the years in the early '80s, and
right?
Came down and joined up with these guys. But this is one of the better, funnier movies of the decade, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I like it. So
Jason, would you give someone a sweater as a gift if they lived in Mexico? Because that's what El Guapo got from his group. He's a sweater. A sweater. Like, okay, the average temperature is 98 degrees, and he gets a sweater.
Oh my God! Yeah. Anyway,
just little things like that that you don't recognize until you think about it. I remember when Steve Martin was Lucky Day, I think that's his name, was chained up, and he's, I'm gonna make it. I mean, and Steve Martin is literally, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the best physical actors of our time. Like,
he was very good at
his acting, his physical acting is bar none. And him trying to get out of that cage, out of that jail cell, and he's attached to all the chains, and I don't know, that scene was hilarious, especially when he kicked back all the way to the wall and almost collapsed. All right, anything else we want to add to Three Amigos? Because this is an amazing movie. I mean, it was on my
I didn't steal yours, did I?
No, you didn't.
Okay, all right.
This would have been my next choice. So there's no chance it would have come back to you after your two choices.
Great.
This was next. All right, Jace. We got two comedies off the board. No surprise there again, because I think if I'm not mistaken, this year is loaded with comedies, right? So
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Go ahead. I didn't. I didn't.
Wow. Okay.
I know you thought.
I mean,
man, it seemed like that it was a little top heavy.
I would have taken Ferris Bueller's Day Off at some point, probably right here at the turn.
It would have been one of your first two, for sure.
It'd probably be my second.
I'm
I
gonna
like
get
Three Amigos. I don't love Three Amigos.
Okay.
It would have not been on my list, which I know for you guys.
Oh, that's good. Well,
But it just goes to show you too, like the difference in what you draft is your taste of like. Yeah. Now, do I enjoy the movie? Absolutely. Being older and going back and watching Three Amigos.
The key is watching that movie like Spaceballs. When Michael and I talk about that movie a lot, which we'll do on this pod too. Watching it with other people who like the movie like you do, and you can watch these movies by themselves and they're still funny. But when you're sitting in a room with someone who's laughing at the same bits and quotes that other people like, it makes it much more fun.
It kind of like we talked about with Major League.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Quotable lines. Okay.
I know your movie.
No.
I know your movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I don't.
And I know your movie so well that's why I wanted to have the 2-hole, because I was thinking, well, I can take the 2-hole and still get my movie because I know what Jason's getting. But you were picking behind me, not in front of me. So that's why I knew you would take this one.
Being a basketball coach,
he's taking Hoosiers.
Crap.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
No brainer for me.
I knew that was coming. Yeah.
Now the debate became whether I was going to take it first or second.
Yep.
Being in this
doesn't matter. You got both of them.
I got both picks.
Yeah.
The third pick is really.
And so I'll take Hoosiers.
That's my next pick. That was what I was going to.
Oh, it would have been mine too.
Growing up, loving the game of basketball and seeing this movie.
That's so great.
It's still a movie to this day. Like when I'm watching, I still get goosebumps. Watching some of the final scenes and just knowing that it's based on a true story and it really did happen.
Right.
Yeah.
In Indiana, they've got one true state champion, and it has to be the school that's.
Was it in the 50s, right? Mid 50s.
Yeah. And 54. And then again, they start the season. They've only got 6 players, or if you ask Strap, it's 5.5 because he's a manager and he's really short. And then battling back and getting the whole Jimmy Chitwood angle. And I found it fascinating too. Like we've talked about this before, but when they filmed that scene of Norman Dale, the coach, out there talking to Jimmy and trying to say, "Hey, I don't want to care if you play or not.
Right.
I mean, if you want to, that's awesome."
Right.
In his backyard, and he's shooting on that dirt. He's got dirt hoop. He's got old hoop out there.
Not missing a thing.
One take. Filmed one time.
And he nailed
it. Said, the actor that played Jimmy said, I didn't hear a word he said. I just focused on shooting the basketball. And he said, first one went in, and then I couldn't miss.
Right.
And so one take, and he doesn't, he misses one shot at the very end of that, that scene. But what a story. And the fact that the town's ready to vote Norman out. Matter of fact, they have. And then Jimmy says if he goes, I'm not playing. He's ready to play, but
he goes, I go.
Yeah. And then they instantly revote. Coach Dave.
When you first saw that movie and you saw Chitwood come into the meeting, did you expect that, or did you think the other way? I had no idea that was going to happen. Sometimes you can see these kind of 5 minutes in advance and go, I already know that's going to. I had no clue that Chitwood's going to do that.
No, matter of fact, I thought maybe the opposite would happen. I thought maybe they would vote the coach out.
That's right.
And then Jimmy says, "Okay, now I'm ready to play."
Sure.
And it completely was
perfect
blown away. By the way,
so many good decisions made in this movie, and I cannot believe Hackman was not nominated. If you take
Dennis Hopper
was nominated,
got a nomination, and he did a great job. But I can't. That was
how does Hackman not?
How does Hackman not get a? Do you know who they originally considered for that part?
I did not look this up. I would like to.
I think it would have ruined it.
I hope not Redford.
Nope.
Okay.
Jack Nicholson.
No.
He just wouldn't have worked, I don't think. And Hackman was just so.
We talked about too how Hackman believed that this movie was going to be a big bust.
He hated this movie.
Really?
He was done with this movie. He thought it was so bad. He was ready to write it off and say, "I don't care if you show that. Don't put it out. It's fine. I'm not comfortable with it. I didn't like how I performed. He didn't like anything."
I thought he did great.
There's a scene where the music playing and they're showing some basketball footage and they kind of pan over to the bench and you see Norman talk to Shooter. He says something on the bench and Shooter just laughs. And when they asked Hackman about what he said, he was telling, basically like, look, this will be the last movie the two of us ever do because this movie is awful.
Oh my God!
This will ruin both of our careers.
Say cult classic to me.
Yeah,
my God,
they had no idea that this movie was going to turn out the way it did. And I didn't see this in the theater. This came out in '86, obviously, and you look at it on the front end, as a VHS rental. You got the tennis shoes, the sneakers on the basketball goal. It doesn't really present itself as, oh my God, this movie's amazing. So I didn't see it till cable. I had to wait for it to come on, like HBO or whatever cable station I was watching. And I don't know that you can appreciate it much when you're 10, which is my age at that time. But this goes down as one of the best movies of this, not just year but decade. And when we do eventually a sports bracket movie pod of this decade, this is going to go a long way, if not win the whole thing.
Well, it's
up
one of the things that I looked at, that it was one of the best sports movies ever made.
One of the best sports movies ever. Yeah,
and
forget
I'm
about
just
the
like, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But,
is this Gene Hackman's number one?
I didn't see some of his older ones, but it's really good. He was also good in was he in Mississippi Burning, or
yes,
he was in one of those? Yeah,
not one of my favorites.
Not one of my favorites, but he was good.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
He's one of my favorite actors of all time. I'm putting him because of the range that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Crimson Tide, absolute power. You can go on and on. He's in Superman, as the villain there in 1978. So one of my favorite actors, but certainly this movie, I knew this movie was going to go, 1, 2, or 3, just didn't know who was going to take it. So great job. All right. You got another one.
I do. And this for me starts some debate because there are so many good movies. I clearly knew Hoosiers would be my number one pick if I had that opportunity. That's the basketball love in me, and then the fact that basketball, this sports in general.
Yeah, well, it definitely would have come to me. Now, and here's the good news about round 1. I think everybody got what they want.
Yeah, I think everybody got the pick.
Everybody feels really good about.
If I have the number one pick, I'm taking this.
Yeah. So now I think is where the sniping begins, because we all got our the one that we were like, man, I hope we don't lose that one.
Now, I thought for sure Hoosiers would be around for my second pick. That's why I didn't go with it. But anyway.
And see, I know a little bit about the both of you, probably a little more, and so I didn't say anything. But yeah, I can't imagine if you had taken Hoosiers first.
Yeah, it was a possibility.
Yeah. Okay.
I was prepared.
Yeah.
I was prepared. I knew that even Sloan might take mine, just even though he was preaching pre-pod about hey, don't be on the defensive more often. So I'm going to stick with that theme. I'm going to go with a movie that I enjoyed. Again, I think the measure of a movie is how many times you've seen it.
Yeah.
And something you're willing to stop and watch no matter when it comes on. The channel stays there.
Yeah.
And for me, that's where I go with pick number 2. I'm going to go with
also in the cafe. So we've got Top Gun, the number one movie of 1986.
And again,
make your case.
A lot of tough decisions in here, but how do you not love Top Gun? It's so everything, especially as a young boy, that just can get you fired up, right? First of all, what a cast.
Yeah.
You got Cruise, you got Kilmer.
Yeah. Tom Skerritt.
You just got great characters.
Yeah.
Iceman.
Yeah.
it is you got a good villain in there. That in some ways he's a villain, but in other ways you kind of come around to like a little bit. But then you got these fighter jets and they're flying around. And to see it in a theater, and then, with the invention of surround sound and home theaters, to feel that shake. And so I still, to this day, will put it on. And those opening scenes when the jets are firing up on, their engines and stuff on the aircraft carriers, and just the reverberation of that through the speakers is just, And then what a soundtrack to go with it. It's everything that I believe you could ever want in a movie.
Yeah. And why does it speak of the 80s more than maybe most? You can look at this movie and just look at between what they're wearing, even though I know they're taking songs from previous, but just everything about this movie.
Hairstyles,
yes. Yeah. Speaks of the 80s. And it's not a perfect movie by any means, but if you think about the ingredients of what a perfect movie needs to have, you got to have the charisma of your main actor or actress. Check. You've got to have the soundtrack. Check. You got to have a love interest. Check. I mean, so everything about this movie, checks all the boxes for one of the better movies of the decade, for sure. I'll tell you this. In 1987, a year later, I'm going up to my dad's in Ohio, and there's a very specific theater that I love to go to. In Canton, Ohio, there were about 5 or 6 theaters that you could watch movies in, but there was one specific one, McKinley Theater, that had a dual. It was strictly a theater; it wasn't attached to anything, and it had your two theaters. In 1987, when I show up to my dad's in the summer, my buddy who would go to the movies with me, who's a couple years older than I am, told me when I got there in June, Top Gun had just finished being played in this theater. So it was released in May of 86, and it stayed there until April of 87.
Dang.
That's a heck of a run.
It did not leave. They just kept it there for 10 months, 11 months. I was blown away. So that tells you, how important that movie was.
I love this movie so much that when we did visit San Diego, I did go and see some of the places where the bar scenes were shot. Yeah. I mean, of course,
it's great.
When you see them in person, they're so much different than what they're built as in the movie. And so it's actually like a little restaurant
nice.
bar, within walking distance for a hotel, and really neat to see it. The piano.
So all that's laid out.
It's all laid out there.
That's kind of how, when I went to Chicago for vacation and managed to get to all those places for Ferris Bueller, and you're looking at it and you're so used to seeing it on the television screen all this time, and then you're right in front of it. So it does give an incredible feeling when you love movies like we do.
I mean, when you saw Top Gun, though, were you prepared for the way it turned out? Were you prepared for maybe his best friend's going to die?
Yeah, no, that was not. And of course, nobody ruined it for me. So when I saw it, I was
same with me.
Amazed. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it was a shock. So Goose, Maverick, Iceman, Slider, Hollywood. What I remember distinctly with my friends and my dad even trying to decide what would be my call name. And I don't remember what it was, obviously, because it was in 1986. I remember having that discussion with people who had seen the movie and trying to determine. So before the end of the show, y'all are going to have to determine what your call names are. Or maybe I'll just give them to you.
Yeah, why don't you just do that? Go by whatever.
Yes.
Shithead.
No, that's...
Story has it, though, that Val Kilmer did not want to do that.
Yeah. There's a lot of good... I've done some reading on the back stuff with this, and I'd love to save it for the actual full when we do the pod on this movie. And I'm going to say that a lot because there's so many movies here that I know are going to get a lot of love later as we progress through this podcast. But yeah.
Well, I wish you guys the best of luck the rest of the way in the draft because with those first two,
I'd say
you guys are losing.
I say we've got some ground to make up. But.
Okay, that third hole, man, is pretty tight. It's a good one to have, especially when it's a deep draft. All right, Mike, you're up. So off the board, we got Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Three Amigos, Hoosiers, and Top Gun. You were on your second pick.
Okay, I'm on my second pick. I think I might have been a little confused, but I'm going to stay with my pick. I'm going to go with Aliens.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Aliens.
Nice.
As far as what I like. Now, I know that the character...
James Cameron version, right?
Yeah.
Ridley Scott did the first one, and then we get James Cameron the second. What an amazing group of directors to go from one to the other and just carry the torch. Hey, Ridley Scott will start us off, then we'll throw it to Cameron. I just thought that was pretty compelling, but it makes a lot of sense that you would take this one, Mike, because your age, you're older than we were. I mean, right. you were watching these films probably a lot sooner than we were, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, and one of the things that caught me about Alien, the original one, was the tagline. It had one of the coolest taglines I have ever seen. In space, no one can hear you scream.
It's amazing.
And I was looking, and you just
looked
at I looked at the poster, and I said, I've got to see that. That's just unbelievable.
You saw the first one in the theater?
I think I did.
Nice.
Because we had a theater that was in Kinston that they didn't really.
Right.
They didn't really look at. When was Alien?
Alien was 79.
Okay.
78. It was in the 70s.
I would have been 15 or so. Yeah. And I was a big kid. So nobody carded me. Anyway. But anyway, so correct me if I'm wrong, and I hate that. Is the chest bursting scene in Aliens, or is that in the original?
It's the first.
It was in the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when Spaceballs did the spoof on it, in the diner,
they did.
That was from the first one. Yeah.
Well, they were said to have the cast that they were freaked out because the alien head was patterned after a real human skull. That they
looked like
that they just kind of
Sure.
built around that.
Sure.
Almost like the mask in Halloween was William Shatner.
Right.
But anyway, they were that was good. And of course, I mean, so Sigourney Weaver is still here, but she wasn't even supposed to, because the role of Ripley was really a male character in the thing, but they changed it, of course, to her. But I just thought that was a good choice because amazing call, because she did a fabulous job. I don't think really, honestly, she's done anything to me that reaches that level. To me, you might know you're not.
Well, Sigourney, I mean, so for me, it's not Aliens, it's Ghostbusters. I mean,
okay,
I'll that's the one that I'm gonna always revert to.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you want to go further than that, these movies aren't as good. I mean, but one of my favorite movies is
Okay.
In the mid '90s,
she did. That was good. That was very good.
Yeah, she's got a couple really strong. She's a strong actress, but I think the two roles that she's always going to be known for will be Ripley in Aliens, and then also Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but the movie's great. Cameron did it was visually stunning.
Cameron,
like he always does.
Yeah.
So
this is his first movie after Terminator.
Wow.
So back to back. Hits. For James Cameron. Yeah. All right. So we have our first horror off the board.
Was that a surprise?
I'm not going to say that I wouldn't have taken it.
Okay.
It wouldn't have been on my next.
Well, it was between two.
You would have been able to grab it later on the next one, but I don't know. But what do you think, Jason? Would that have been? Was it on your list of?
It was not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, though, I never saw either one. I never saw Alien. I never saw Alien. So that would have been off of my radar.
And don't see Aliens 3. Not good.
No, I think the further down you go, it gets kind of.
All right. I get two.
You do.
This. I know one of these for a fact.
Do you?
I do. I'll write it down. And when you take it, I'll turn this paper back over.
I don't think you're going to get this one.
Oh, my. Okay.
I don't think you're going to get this one.
All right.
This would not be my third choice. This is where defense comes into play, because here's the thing. You guys have 4 picks before I pick again after these two.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I've written down 2 movies.
I know for a fact this movie's not making it back to me if I don't take it now.
Okay.
It's not my third best. It's not my third favorite, but it certainly is good enough to take the top 5. But I know if I don't take it now, I'll never see it again. So I am taking the adaptation of Stephen King's Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Yes. Rob Reiner. Michael, we talked about it. Yes, there we go. You selected it. Good job. We talked about this movie before on the last pod on Rob Reiner and how incredible this movie was, not only because of Rob Reiner, but because of the actors and the fact that we were living this point in our lives. I mean, I know, Michael, you were 21, but Jason and I were literally almost the same age as these kids in Stand By Me. And watching it, even as an adult, you can go back to the nostalgia of the things that they bring in to this movie. So, of course, it's a Stephen King adaptation. He's one of my favorite writers. I did read quite a few of his books. I did not read The Body, which is what this movie came from, which was a novella. So this was actually just all the information was brand new, having watched this in the 80s. I did not see this in the theater, but I did see it not long after in cable and rental. And I came away loving it. I was very surprised to hear that Adrian Lyne, the director, was supposed to direct this movie. Yep. This is the same guy who directed Fatal Attraction, 9.5 Weeks, and Unfaithful. And this would not have been the movie it was had he got his hand on it and tried to direct this movie.
Sex scene.
Yeah, there would have been a dream there. So.
Yeah. I'm kidding. But don't get triggered.
No. I'm just glad that it did not go into his hands.
Yeah.
The big story of this movie, Norman Lear actually ponying up over $7.5 million of his own money to get this movie made because he felt so strongly about Rob Reiner and how good of talent he was. This is our first glimpse of a character or an actor that I really love. Do you know this villain in this movie? Kiefer Sutherland. I love him. He's one of my favorite actors, and we see him for the first time in this movie. So it's really nice. I'm not a fan of the narration, which a lot of people really love this movie because of it. That's why I didn't really watch The Wonder Years when it came on. Dean really, and not really my thing. I don't like the narration the way it was done. I believe Dreyfuss was the narrator for that, but it is a loaded cast. You get Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, Jerry O'Connell, Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, and of course Richard Dreyfuss. So one of my favorite movies of this day. This is a movie I can just sit down at any point in time and go, oh, this is on. I'm watching. I'm ready to go. Thoughts? Were you guys having this on your list?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's on my radar.
It would not have made it back then.
Okay, I was corrected.
It might have. I had it way down on my list. So.
I would have taken it in one of my.
Yeah.
All right. So we get Stand By Me. Now, the next one's tough because I have two choices. I can't decide. All right. I'm just going to take this one. This one is not just the movie. And this is, I'm taking this not because of the movie itself. I'm taking it because of the franchise. And that is Karate Kid 2.
Not what I thought was coming here.
Now, this is not my favorite Karate Kid. It's not my second favorite. I'm actually, this is a hot take. I actually like Karate Kid 3 better than 2. Karate Kid 3, I just watched the other day.
Is that the one where he went over?
That's the one with Terry Silver.
Uh-huh.
This is the one that's got Mike Barnes. I mean, you're talking, these are the two villains in part 3. And they kind of do a rope-a-dope on Daniel where they feel like they're training him, but they're really trying to punish him. And, of course, if you watch Cobra Kai, you get these two guys back, and they are a large part of this series. So I'm not really taking Karate Kid 2 as much as I'm taking a third of this franchise and how good this franchise is. I do remember seeing this in the theaters. I do remember it being one of the most anticipated movies I had ever seen. Not that it ended up standing out to be the best, but after watching 1984's Karate Kid and then realizing that a sequel was on its way, I could not wait to see it. Now, was it as good as the first? Of course not. So even though we get a few glimpses of some of the old guys at the beginning, when we get William Zabka, actually getting what was coming to him at the beginning, and all the different things. We get Chosen, we get everything. Did I like the fact that it moved to Okinawa as opposed to being in California? That was kind of not my favorite part of the movie. But with that said, we get Miyagi, we get Daniel, we get everything Karate Kid.
That's also on my list.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
So that one may not have made it.
I had it on there. I figured it wouldn't last. I figured you'd probably take it.
Yeah.
Like Ferris Bueller. But anyway. Okay. I didn't know you favored 3 over 2. But anyway. It
is a hot take. Okay. I don't know why. I've yet to find anyone who agrees with me. And the thing is, if you watch Cobra Kai, you see Chosen is a large part of this series of Cobra Kai. But guess what? So is Terry Silver. And I would be willing to say that he actually might be more important to that than Chosen was. But the fact that they all came back in Cobra Kai was absolutely amazing, using the same actors after all these years. I mean, everything about that. But that's for another time. But yeah, Karate Kid 2 is good. When we do the 1989 draft, I'm probably going to be putting that higher than most people because 1989 is loaded. But yeah, with 1986, I'll go ahead and own a little bit of this franchise here, and take a piece in it, knowing that I really loved all 3 Karate Kids, and that even though this is the third best one of the 3, there was only one in 86, so I'm taking it. All right, Mike.
All right,
you were next.
All right, well, I'm going to go off script here just a little bit.
I'm trying to. Can you give me a hint? I really want to guess.
This is a sequel.
Okay,
it's a sequel.
Okay,
and it's this. Hard Bodies 2.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
I'm playing. That's not it.
It is a sequel?
No, it's not a sequel.
Okay.
It's not a sequel.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I think you're going with... I think you're going Back to School. Little Rodney Dangerfield. No respect.
On my list, not
okay.
On my possibilities.
Okay. All right. What you got?
I'm going to go with Platoon.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
That was on my list.
Yes.
Platoon. Because, I mean, it was just, as a war movie goes, it was, but I think there was a reason why it was so realistic on some of the, like the opium den or the heroin scene or something like that. The guys were all doped up on marijuana. They had all smoked to make it seem realistic. Yeah, to make it seem realistic. Yeah, I had to do a whole lot of, but I love the Willem Dafoe in that. I mean, I just picture
what a cast.
So many characters. Berenger to me,
Berenger's amazing.
He's amazing. And I was just looking at him. I was like, yes, I hate him, but I imagine that somebody would be kind of like that, you know, with him. Even Charlie Sheen was not yet Charlie Sheen, you know, the persona that he had. And so it was all just, or to me, but it all just, I would say, if I got dropped into the middle of the Vietnam War, I picture that's probably exactly what it would look like.
Right.
I had heard that there was a rumor that Oliver Stone wanted at one time Jim Morrison to play the lead if he had his rathers. But of course, obviously Jim Morrison was dead. But and then later on, Oliver Stone directed, you know, The Doors.
Right.
And but he was kind of preoccupied with him. Yeah. Whether he was in whether that was just him musing. If I had my choice, I would have had, you know. But Jim Morrison as playing Willem Dafoe's part.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
This is the end. Anyway.
Okay. Jace, I don't know about you, because being that we're the same age and Michael was 21 when this came out. This took probably 20 years for me. I didn't see this movie until I was in college.
I saw it in the theater.
I was probably in high school when I saw it. My dad really liked this movie a lot. So, you know, obviously then we owned it when it was on VHS. So that was probably the first time I saw it.
I don't mind war movies. I don't like war movies when you see some of the things that you see in the first 45 minutes. It's not pretty, especially when the Americans are the ones who look to almost be the villains, you know, in the first quarter of this movie. So it's a hard watch. I'm not saying it wasn't done extremely well and accurate, which is, you know, something that Stone really probably took a lot of effort into, obviously. But it's a hard watch. It's not an easy watch. So this is not one that I'm pulling out of the vault, you know, from time to time. But I mean, to say that it's not one of the best movies of the decade and this year, obviously, you'd be lying if you didn't say that. So it's a good call. All right, Chase, you are up.
Yeah, I've got some decisions to make.
You got two choices.
I do. You know, Platoon was going to be there. That was going to be definitely one I took in this turn. Mm-hmm. And then you took one too, Stand By Me. Those both, had they made it to me, I would have taken both of those right here. It would have been 3 and 4 for me. With that being said, they're gone. Ooh, man, there's 3 movies right here. I kind of all got my eye on. I'm going to go.
So far in the top 10 for gross out of the movies that we've chosen that made the most money, top 10. Top Gun first was taken. Karate Kid 2 was number 3 in 1986. I took that. Michael took Aliens. That was 5th in 1986. And I took Ferris, Bueller's Day Off. That was 10th in 1986. So, kind of gives us a little bit of an idea.
I've got 4 movies here I like. Now, this is where I'm trying to be strategic in the fact of which ones do I think I can hold off, because I think
makes sense.
Make it back to me. I'm going to go.
This will be a good time to take one that you just watch over and over again. You just can't. You're just like,
I mean, but again, we've talked about some of these. I'm going to go Police Academy 3.
Ooh!
Wow! That's probably...
Steve Guttenberg makes an appearance. Oh.
Yeah, I debated here because I know I've got 2 picks, but I think there's one obscure enough that I don't think you guys are going to take, and I think it can make it.
Okay. Make your case for. Is this your favorite of the list?
I know we've talked about the Police Academies before,
right?
And you know, there's some argument about which is the best. I like the original. The second one we've talked about. The third I think is hilarious. they're going back to.
Is it back in training?
Yes.
Yes.
It's back in training.
Love it.
So
this is my favorite one.
3?
Yeah.
It's your favorite one.
it
Okay.
is.
It's my favorite. And there's one very good reason, obviously, if Jason wants to chime in on it.
So the second one, make sure I get them right here. The second one was Citizens on Patrol. Is that right?
That's 4.
That's 4. Okay, so I jumped.
Okay.
So 3 is when oh my gosh.
Part 2. So Police Academy 2 is called The First Assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when we get introduced to
So in 2 we get Bobcat Goldthwait, but he is a biker.
That's where they're doing the
He's an
riot
enemy.
downtown, right? Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
in 3,
Bobcat.
But that's okay. In 3, doesn't he become the recruit? He's one of the recruits.
And in 3,
right?
he's actually the first 5 minutes of the movie. He's riding his motorcycle and he's heading to the training. And that really small 110-pound little nerd is the one that ends up pairing up with him, the one that he, messed with in the second one, who had the lamp shop. And they become the police officers in 3.
Okay.
So they're bringing back these characters that we loved in 2 as police officers in 3. And that's why it's my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, because they infuse so much more comedy with that. So it's definitely my favorite.
Oh, and we talked about Bubba Smith being a football player, and he's so much bigger. And you got
Gutenberg is still there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mahoney, Sergeant Mahoney.
It's great.
And then you got what's his name that makes the voices. I always forget.
His name is Michael.
Yeah.
What's his last name? I don't remember his last name, but yeah. I mean, you take all the beats from 1 and 2 and you inject it in 3, but then you just continue to add, and that's what's good about it. You don't remove. And that's what some of these comedies end up doing sometimes when they don't bring back the cast, is they don't keep what's really good about what was
Michael Winslow.
That's it. And what really was, to me, what stood out with Police Academy. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the funniest movie of the decade by any stretch, but what made it, it could really have fallen off the rails if you didn't bring back what made people want to watch that movie to begin with. So I think the first one was just, let's see what happens. Some of these actors had not been in movies before. Hey, we were successful in this. We got another script. We can make something out of it. Let's do it. So they throw in 2 and 3. And after 3, you said Citizens on Patrol I'm not a fan of that one. Everything after 3 just goes off the rails, in my opinion.
Way downhill.
So I wish it stopped at 3, because the first 3 together are great.
I always remember Tackleberry and his gun being so.
And again, that's what's so special about this. They continue to make these same jokes that are good and they're funny, and they know exactly what the audience wants. It's amazing.
Especially remember being a kid and how much I look forward to this series coming out.
Yes.
So, like we said, they progressively go downhill, especially after this one.
Do you remember the name of the bar? Dean and I talk about this all the time, because I almost got him a shirt that has it up there and making him wear it during soccer tournaments. Yeah. So if anybody saw the shirt, they would know. Do you know what goes on in the bar, right? And why they continue to send the guys there? It's the Blue Oyster.
The Blue Oyster.
And I had a shirt lined up for Dean. Dean's got a shirt, Blue Oyster. If he walks around in that, somebody's going to be asking questions.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you are correct. This is the best one of the 3, in my opinion. And again, I don't really care much for ones after. I think they got all the way to 7 or 8.
Wow,
they had 8, I think, all the way up until 89. This decade,
they capitalized.
Yes, they did. And this is where they should have ended it. But Police Academy 3, excellent choice. All right, so we've all got 3. So for me, I've got Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Stand By Me, and Karate Kid Part 2. Mike's got Three Amigos, Aliens, could not be more different of a movie, and Platoon.
That sounds like a great list right there. I'm just being that outside.
Michael went to the funniest movie of the decade, arguably the 2 darkest movies right after it. Like,
you have to have something to counteract that.
Well, you countered it. That's
dopamine.
Yes.
Anyway.
And then Jason has Hoosiers, Top Gun, and Police Academy 3. All right. So we got 3 down. We got 2 picks each left to go. Jason, you are the first in this round. What do you got?
Okay. I'm going to go.
Take Michael's, please.
I doubt it.
No. Oh, so this one's these are where you're kind of Under the radar.
I
love these two.
I don't know. You might, because you know me well.
My next two are under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised.
I'm going to go.
Don't take one that I've been saving.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to go with one that I really, really enjoy. So I'm not going to go mainstream. I'm going to go what I really personally enjoyed, and that was the film Iron Eagle.
Ooh. Very close to Top Gun. Yes.
I like that storyline. It pulled at me. Now, how realistic is it that this kid is going to steal a couple of jets and go across the Atlantic Ocean and, get his dad back? I mean, that's probably...
It makes them look absolutely incompetent.
Yeah.
And it's not smart.
If you're looking at it from the,
like within days, he's trained and he's up in the air. Like, what are we doing?
He's got to listen to the music to
right.
be able to really hit his shot.
But Louis Gossett is great.
Yeah.
Great actor in that role.
I loved him in several movies, but I really like this movie. I watched it because he was in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked.
So this was 41st in the top 100. 41st made $24 million. So yeah, it wasn't in the top. It made the top 50, not in the top 25. But certainly one I think a lot of us had seen, particularly in VHS and cable. It's really where it kind of made its hay. I did not see this in the theater.
Was not intentional. I think Top
Gun and Iron Eagle. Oh, it's fine.
That's the way it fell.
If that's what you like.
I did like this movie. So again, you're right. It makes our military and our government look completely incompetent. But
it's interesting because you picked Top Gun, which was a movie they genuinely had to get permission from the military to do anything with. And then you go straight to Iron Eagle. It's like, just do what you want. Okay. Nice call, though. Yeah. I forgot. I actually, I saw it the other day, and then for whatever reason, it didn't make my top 10. But certainly, I can understand the reason for that. Michael, did you see Iron Eagle? You remember it with Louis Gossett?
I've seen parts of it. I remember being at somebody's house where it was on.
Yeah, nothing is outstanding.
But nothing. But I mean, he always liked Louis Gossett. I mean, he was great. In
other words, Jason, he said your last pick sucked.
Well, tell me it sucks without saying it. I'm kidding.
By the way, Iron Eagle 41st, Three Amigos 42nd. So
really?
Take that.
There you go.
Take that. Take that help. Did you see there's a
I would say there's some.
It's a sweater. And it's the most wool, heaviest. It's not, this lightweight. It is.
Oh my God!
There's another climate change.
You look at it and it looks like it's hot.
Yeah.
They saved up for years to get.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I take it we're going to do Three Amigos on this pod, I guess, right?
We have to. Okay. Three Amigos is still
okay. All right, Mike, you get your fourth.
Okay, since I'm accused of being dark, taking the first. I suppose my next pick will not be dark, even though that was a possibility.
You're taking an American Tail.
Right. And I'm tempted because it's a classic. Come on. It's a little, if I got kids.
You were Russian. Take the Russian mouse.
I'm going to take the communist mouse. I'm going to go back to school.
Yes.
I mean, a Rodney Dangerfield.
It's so good. It's so good.
But my favorite in that movie, even though his life was sad, was Sam Kinison.
He is in that movie for 3 minutes, and he owns that scene.
And he owns the scene. Absolutely owns it. But so he was like, don't pressure him. He's just yelling.
I like how he builds the crescendo up. He's like, you can tell, and then he's getting really angry, and he's holding it back, and then he just goes off. But Rodney Dangerfield has the wherewithal to come right back at him. He's like, good answer. I'm going to be watching you.
That's just so much of that movie that I laughed at. Oh my God.
We get William Zabka as another bully.
Okay.
I mean, he's back again. So we go from Karate Kid to just one of the guys, and now we get him here and back to school. So he's a douchebag in this movie as well. Apparently, his agent just took anything that said douchebag on it. Yeah.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he is one of the best actors that I remember from that decade, but yeah. Screw you, Melon.
Yeah.
That was his call line in the movie.
But
that's a good movie, though.
It was. I mean,
the concept is. I love the idea of this old guy coming back to school with his son.
Yeah.
And him being the talk of the town. And then it's so good. Now, the son just had a birthday the other day.
Oh, really?
I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. It's amazing. He actually has a receding hairline.
Oh,
you would never recognize him.
I guess not.
And he was the lead actor on Christine.
Okay.
So very prominent actor of the 80s.
Yeah.
Really good. I don't know. He's one of the guys that stood out to me when I was a kid. I just thought he was a good actor. But yeah, this movie. And then we also get, first time I laid eyes on one, Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He was in that. I didn't know that.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yes. He was the friend of
maybe I just haven't
Dangerfield's
seen it
son
in such a long time.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's amazing.
All right.
I mean, you're talking early. I mean, so this actually comes right after. First time I remember seeing him was Weird Science. And then in 86, he does it. So this was the second role. I mean, you're talking Robert Downey.
Here, this is the one where he does dive, right?
Yeah, it's the diving.
Okay, it's the diving one. Okay, he does the Lindy or whatever that was. Right?
Yes.
That is just stinking hilarious. Anyway,
he hits 4 different diving.
Oh my God! Anyway, so I enjoyed that.
Triple Lindy.
Yeah, Triple Lindy. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh God, yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing like Dangerfield, man.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't think we need to go on. I mean, I'm pretty well close to the hour.
Okay. Michael's in last.
Now it is.
And as he just drafted Dangerfield, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me what he said about Kinnison when he was in the classroom after he yelled at him. He said, "I'm going to be watching you." He looks over to the girl next to him and says, "That guy really cares about what? I have no idea."
But I couldn't have kept a straight face in that movie if I was
Dangerfield. I remember seeing him on HBO doing stand-up. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That's where I remember him first. And then this movie came out. And my grandfather, God rest his soul, he died in this exact same year. He died in January of 86. And this movie came out, sometime later in the year, and I didn't see it because it was it R or PG-13? I know we get a quick little breast scene. So but in 1986, that can happen one time and you're good for PG-13. I think it was PG-13.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't see it in the theater, but my grandfather loved Rodney Dangerfield, and so I remember seeing it, thinking about him, and putting those two things together. So there's some nostalgia for that. So I'm kind of mad you took that because that might have been next on my list. Now that you brought up Back to School, they need to redo that. It's fantastic.
Great.
Okay, so I'm on the board. I've got 2. I got my next 2. I'm done after these 2. Okay, this is not a quotable movie, but it's a movie that has a buddy cop. And, of course, you go all the way back to 1980, 81. When you say 48 Hours, that really is the infancy of the buddy cop. And you get all the way to Lethal Weapon and all these other movies that kind of Tango and Cash in 1989.
Right.
This is the decade of the buddy cop movie. And this one gets overlooked. I'm willing to bet that maybe one of you hasn't even seen this. But it was the 26th movie in 1986, so it was in the top 25, top 26. And 2 prominent actors, one of whom was not really an actor, he was a dancer.
White Knights?
Okay, so White Knights is the actor who was in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know the movie I'm thinking of? So you guys haven't even seen this movie.
Maybe
not. So I really want you guys to go see this. Gregory Hines.
Gregory Hines was in it.
Yes.
I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't. I do not know it.
The lead actor was in Soap and City Slickers.
Billy Crystal?
Yes.
And Gregory Hines?
Yes.
You got me.
It is called Running Scared.
Running Scared. I didn't see it. I didn't, but I do know.
I like Billy Crystal.
This is a buddy cop where you get 2 Chicago police detectives.
Okay.
And you get your first appearance of the villain in this movie, Jimmy Smits from NYPD Blue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he is Julio Gonzalez.
Uh-huh.
And the whole movie is about the 2 of them trying to thwart Julio, being the drug lord of Chicago and trying to take down. Very similar to what you would see something like, I guess, like a mob movie, but Julio Gonzalez is the main villain there. And what I love about this movie is it came actually before Lethal Weapon. So this was Lethal Weapon before Lethal Weapon.
Right.
You get your white and your black actor together. You get comedic chops. You get two really good, actors in terms of what they can do for the movie. They're physical. They run and, they're shooting. They look realistic. All Chicago, very similar to what I loved about Ferris Bueller. And again, this is a movie that came out before Lethal Weapon 1 and 2, which come out in 1987 and 1989, respectively. Now, why this movie did not get the love that Lethal Weapon did, I don't know. They did not do a sequel, which to this day, the two of them regretted. And it's one of my favorite buddy cop movies, one of my favorite movies of the decade. And I just remember watching this over and over again. I think it's better than 48 Hours, and it's right up there with Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. That's how good this movie is. Beverly Hills Cop, another cop movie I forgot to mention. Running Scared, great movie. First time we see Jimmy Smits, and I just love seeing this combination of Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. 1986, Running Scared, and it is off the board. And I get one more.
Yeah. And this is where he loses it, ladies and gentlemen.
This is it.
No.
Make your choice carefully.
Okay. Back to School probably would have been the next one.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, sir. That's been taken.
So I told you in the beginning of this pod, in the little prologue here, that there were two Tom Cruise movies. One is gone. So I'm going with the other one, which I love. I love so much that if my guys look behind me in the cafe, they will see not the actual poster of the movie, but a pool table. And that is because my next film will be The Color of Money. Martin Scorsese, Tom Cruise.
You were safe.
And Paul Newman.
From me. I didn't.
I don't need to be safe. This is my last one.
No, you would have been safe. I would have
Yes.
chosen that one. Anyway.
So,
yeah.
My best friend had a pool table growing up from the ages of 7 to 11. And we played pool religiously. I learned how to play pool from him and his brother and his dad, who were really good pool players. And so I really developed a love for that. And then when this movie came out, it was a rated R movie. Did not see this in the theater, had to wait for cable. And of course, I didn't know anything about, I knew a little bit about Tom Cruise at this point. Again, Top Gun had already come out, or maybe had recently come out, so we didn't really get that fanfare yet. The one movie I had remembered from him was Risky Business. So I wasn't supposed to see, saw it anyway, loved it. I did not see All the Right Moves until much later. So my love for Tom Cruise really came from Risky Business, going into this movie, and just watching him perform in this movie with Scorsese as a director was top notch. I loved The Color of Money. Now, I didn't even care that this was a sequel to Paul Newman's The Hustler. Paul Newman meant really not much to me, meant more to my dad and more to my grandfather at this time. But this movie was really captivating. I love the idea of the gambling aspect of it, where they're pretending to lose to win. I mean, that whole thing just kind of spun me through a loop when I used to learn how to watch pool and all that. Very, very true to form. Tom Cruise, as he always does, says, look, if this is a pool movie, I'm going to learn. Bought a pool table, stuck it in his apartment, and played hours and hours and hours until he got really good at it. He did not want somebody to do the shots that he wanted to do for the film. Now, there were 2 shots, I believe, that they indicated there's just no way he's going to be able to do in this short amount of time. So they did bring on a professional pool player to kind of help out with that. But a lot of what you see him do in this movie, all Tom Cruise. Yeah, they didn't have to worry about, putting in a double for that at all, or any, the changing of the scene so that, you just see the hands and it's somebody else. No. Everything that you see, with the exception of 2 trick shots, all Tom Cruise.
I did not,
amazing movie.
I will be honest. I did not see this until after the Saturday Night Live skit that spoofed it.
I have not seen that.
They did one with the guy, but he was a bowler.
Recently, after it had come out, or like years later?
I forget how wait a minute after it come out, but they had them go, it's in the way. Threw the bowling balls.
Oh, I didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
I mean, the song that comes out for this movie.
Yeah. It was good.
You get an Eric Clapton song, by the way.
You get a Clapton, yeah.
And then you also get
Werewolves of London.
Yeah.
Werewolves of Ireland.
That's the one he does constantly. Yeah. And the funniest thing about this movie, constantly, black shirt, T-shirt, jeans, nothing but Vince written on his shirt. And that came from where he was working, where all the guys in the department store had their names on their shirt. But he just kept wearing it. Newman in the movie was like, "Oh, that's a great little wear that when we go to these pool halls and hustle." So yeah, I just this movie is so good. I love it. All right, and Tom Cruise, can't beat it. So I am done. I've got my 5, and I love every one of them. And I'm going to turn it over to Mike for his last pick.
All right. The question is, do I go mainstream? Do I go way off the grid? Or do I go dark?
And then we gotta when Jason's done.
Well, just based on your first 4, I'm going to go dark.
Well, I would like to, but actually I like that. Okay, I'm gonna be a little more family friendly. For my last one, dumb as it may sound, I'm going with Crocodile Dundee.
Okay.
Crocodile
the number 2
Dundee.
movie of 1986.
Christ.
I saw this in the theater with my mom.
I
remember it vividly.
The first movie was pretty entertaining, pretty interesting, just as a story. I think the second one had some good bits in it when he goes to New York and he runs into the guy and says,
"What did you like about?
I'll be in town for a couple of days. I'll probably see you." I'm like, a sea of humanity over there. It was just
fish out of water.
Yeah, I didn't think the love angle worked that well. Yeah. It wasn't, but I just liked the whole, the scenery with the him in the native environment. I'm not a big fan of crocodiles, though. I'm really not. But even watching, wildlife videos where they get this, I don't generally tend to do that.
And you never really saw Paul Hogan after this. Yeah. He did this movie. Did an alligator eat him up?
I don't really know.
Or is he in Australia just kind of sitting back? Because after 1 and 2, I never saw him. And I think they actually did
third. Yeah.
And there's all.
Yeah.
But
yeah, true.
There's some good scenes in this first one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was. I like the one where he's hiding in the water. I mean, and they make the guy go down in the water, and he grabs him and takes it down, and they think it's a crocodile, but it's really
his buddy. They think they killed him.
Yeah, they killed him. But
the scene where his woman almost gets attacked by a real one, and he saves her from that.
Yeah,
I think my favorite one, the funniest one that resonated with me from this movie, the scene was the subway at the very end. And they're trying to communicate with one another, and they're passing the information. So think about in '86, you're picking your phone up and you're just texting because they can't see each other or hear each other. So they're passing the information like the game telephone when you were a kid, from person to person, and then they're back and forth. And the people that are in the middle are hilarious because these are New Yorkers that you would think had no bit. They would tell you to screw off. And now they're the ones kind of passing along the information. And then in order to get to each other, they have to step on their heads and they have to hold them up in order because they're so packed and crowded. So there's some really interesting pieces. Some of it may not age well in
probably not.
I think one time he goes over to a transvestite and fills him up.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, you remember that?
Sheila, or whatever. He says to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a.
That's the first time I'd seen that.
It's kind of a. Some of it was kind of predictable, I guess, if you like it. I mean, but it was cute. It was, so I guess that was better than going dark. So anyway, I was going to go dark. I will tell you this: I was going to take The Fly.
Well, we're going to talk about the ones we just looked.
Okay, but anyway, I'm just saying.
So this was the number 2 movie in '86, and it's actually still to this day the number 1 movie in Australia. Go figure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. You are finished, and I'm get done. One more for Mr. Jace.
Yeah. So, man, you guys left me a lot of options here. Really. I mean, there's a lot of movies out there.
I'd like to talk about ones we left off the table that we couldn't include.
Talk about any of the ones I was going through here.
We will afterwards. Just get your 5th one.
I don't know if I want to do that. I want to reveal the final piece of the winning team.
Oh, yeah.
The audience is listening and hoping
so
you
far,
pick their pick.
Everything I've picked.
I love everything you pick.
It's kind of like
I love everything Mike's picked.
And then I'm going to go with something that I'm going to go with a movie here that stars one of my favorite actors. He's obviously really young in 1986.
Okay. I'm looking at my list here to see if I can find it.
I'm picking The Money Pit.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Shelley Long. Shelley Long. Yes.
Of all time.
This is a funny movie.
It is
Money
funny
Pit was
because
good. Yeah.
of all the things in that house that could go wrong. And what in the beginning, they're just looking for a house.
Right.
And they get sold on this mansion that is like a deal that is way too good to be true. And of course, it is too good to be true because once they move in, everything in that house that could go wrong needs fixed and replaced and renovated. And the bathtub falling through the floors. I like Tom Hanks like losing his mind.
Right. And this is Tom Hanks before Tom Hanks. I mean, we get Nothing in Common with Gleason the same year. That's more of an adult comedy drama. We get Splash. So we really haven't seen him develop to Tom Hanks yet. I think that probably starts with Big in '88.
Yeah.
Right? But this is an early gem. This is Volunteers with John Candy. But this is a good one. I like it.
I always thought it was really funny. And then, looking some facts about the movie, said during filming, Tom Hanks liked to drive around in that Model L Series classic car. Like any breaks he had, he would just go out and drive through the neighborhood in the car. I mean, could you imagine like just living and like, there's Tom Hanks just driving by like, hey, how you doing?
Now, did you see this in the theater?
I did not.
Okay, same.
But again, being 8 years old, there wasn't a lot that I did see in the theater.
Right.
So.
And this movie has to resonate more as a homeowner.
As an adult, yeah.
As
the
opposed
moment
to
you get a house,
yeah.
and then
means a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. Because every house is a money.
Now, the nothing goes right is the part you can relate at any age and to say, I mean, just it keeps happening.
When things just keep.
But the house aspect. Yeah. Haven't seen it in a while. Actually, that's one I have to go back and revisit. But I do remember enjoying that quite a bit.
I got to tell you, like right here, there were some debates at this point.
Well, let's talk about it. Yeah, because ones that we did not take that we left on the table.
I mean, something I had circled that I thought I would probably take in a late round that I didn't. I liked the movie Wildcats.
Yeah,
I always liked
Goldie Hawn.
And her dad was a football coach. She was coaching track or cross country, something like that. And that she wanted to get
a good sports movie.
You got a girl coaching football.
Right.
You got her going from this like more like preppy kind of school to an inner city school, Central High School.
There's so many of these movies that it's not that you're being disrespectful, but it's just like it wouldn't even make sense to do it now because of the way we view whether you're talking about children or whether you're talking race or you're talking about gender. Like it doesn't. I mean, so what? In 2026, a girl's coaching, big deal,
right?
But that was in '86. That was a big deal.
Right.
We have female referees now. If you were to think of that in 1986, unheard of, which is kind of crazy to think that that's the way we thought, but it was.
Another movie right here that I really enjoyed seeing it in the 80s.
Yeah.
Was Rat.
Yeah. Bicycle.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, I just remember
Total Rental.
BMX, like
sure.
Little course, and
yes.
they raced them there, and
I watched that a lot.
I liked that movie.
Just watching the stunts. Yeah,
was another movie.
Short Circuit was good.
Yeah, it was on the list.
Yeah.
I thought I might pull the trigger on, but at the end of the day, it's tough to get on the winning team. And looking at my lineup, it's pretty clear. I mean, I don't know if you guys can even debate it, really. I mean,
well, if you have to tell someone you're a lady, it probably means you don't. Anyway, I'm just saying.
All right, you said Fly was on your list.
Fly was on my list.
Mine too.
It was there, but that Goldblum.
It's a great horror movie.
At the end of that Goldblum scene where that scared the hell out of me. Honestly, it did. Even as a college kid, I was
vomiting
like,
onto the
guy's hand, and I'm just like, that was freaking
Gina
unbelievable.
Davis. Right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So that's the first movie for either of them for me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Davis did something prior to that. Goldblum had done The Big Chill, which is, one of the best dramas of the entire decade for sure. Right. But that was an adult movie, and I didn't see that till I was much older.
Yeah.
But I remember him vividly seeing that movie. And like you said, if it ever came on cable, I'm on it. I'm watching that every time.
Okay. What about Clue?
Was Clue in '86?
I'm pretty sure.
Get out of here.
No
way.
It might be.
No.
I have one more for.
Well, hold on.
I'll give you space there for that.
Clue was 105, I think. Maybe.
Yes. It was
I
so
really
far.
did like Clue.
I didn't even see that.
I don't believe
Oh my!
saw it.
Clue is
I thought it was
fantastic.
really well done.
You even the ending, which is amazing. The first time you've ever seen a movie where you go, wait, that's not the ending. Wait, that's not the ending. Now it's the ending. 3 endings.
Well,
very similar to what you would do in a game, like the game, and it's so funny. Clue is amazing.
Wow!
I cannot believe that was in this. I'm not going to say I would have taken it, but it definitely would have made.
But I'm not going to say I wouldn't have taken
opportunities out there.
You'll have time to reminisce and about where you went wrong. So anyway,
so the one that I'm going to take as my off the list, but a deep dive, also Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, 1986. He does Platoon, but he also does another movie. He actually filmed this first. And this is a sci-fi. And it is one of the best. I remember seeing it. I don't know if you guys remember as kids doing lock-ins. Did you ever get lock-in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I swam competitively for a long time as a middle school, high schooler. And when I was in middle school, around this time when right after this movie had come out, at the YMCA, we did a lock-in and tried to raise money. So we were in the building the entire. And so there's a section where you would just watch movie after movie. This is where I saw the first time for this movie. And if you haven't seen it, it's a Charlie Sheen classic, The Wraith.
Never even heard of.
No.
Got to watch that. Fantastic movie if you've never had a chance to see it. But it was 100 and what did I say? So it was deep into the hundreds here. 133rd. So only made 3.5 million. Okay. The other one that that came off my list that I did not select, but it was up here in the top 25, 50 or so. I really love Ruthless People. I watched that last night. Danny DeVito, Bette Midler, Judge Reinhold, and this is where we get Bill Pullman for the first time. An incredible cast. And this is a heist movie, a comedy heist movie if you've never seen it. It's a little bit crass. Some of the stuff probably doesn't age well and Helen Slater doesn't age well from 1986. But I watched it last night. It wasn't as bad. I mean, there's some language to it, some adult themes, but for the most part, it's Danny DeVito at his absolute best. So if you haven't had a chance to check that one out, do it. All right. Any more incredible movies in 1986 before we get out of here? I'm going to run down our list. One last time for the audience, and then we'll get out of here. All right. I'll go ahead and list them. So Jason, he has Hoosiers, Top Gun, Police Academy 3, Iron Eagle, and The Money Pit. So Jace, you've got 2 action-packed, very comparable action-packed movies. You have a sports movie, and you have 2 comedies. Okay, well-rounded. One being a sequel. So you got a sequel, yeah. Michael, Three Amigos, Aliens, Platoon, Back to School, Crocodile Dundee. I would say of all of us and our choices, you probably have the list I would say is most well-known. Would you agree?
I would agree. And that was in my...
Platoon didn't make the money that it did in 87, but obviously you just say the word Platoon, everybody knows what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee was the number 2 movie in this entire year. Aliens, again, very prominent franchise. Everyone has seen Three Amigos and laughed their ass off to it. And Back to School might be the one some people may not have caught, but at the same time, we know Rodney Dangerfield there. Okay. And I'll round mine up with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Stand By Me, Karate Kid 2, Running Scared, and The Color of Light. So I have, I would say, I don't know. I mean, you've got the Karate Kid franchise, you've got Rob Reiner, you've got Ferris, you've got Buddy Cop, and you've got Tom Cruise. I love my list. I do notice we all have sequels. How about that? Makes sense.
Makes sense, I guess, yeah.
Police Academy 3, Aliens, and Karate Kid Part 2. Yeah. Okay. Thoughts before we get out of here? This was a good list.
This was very good.
This was a good draft. 86 has so many good movies.
It does.
Yeah.
And we just named several dark horses.
We picked 15, and we named another 5 or 6. Excellent movie.
So, of the top 10, there was only 2 that were, we'll say 3. 3 that were not mentioned or chosen. Color Purple. But that was an 85. So that one actually was eliminated anyway. You couldn't. Yeah. So it made a lot of money in 1986, but it was an 85 movie. So that
don't know that I would have taken it anyway. Just
again, it's a hard watch.
Yeah, it is.
It's a hard watch.
It is.
A Star Trek 4. I've never been a Trekkie. I've always navigated toward Star Wars.
I've enjoyed the movies, but not to gush over them. I mean,
and Out of Africa, which actually had a ton of Oscar nominations. This is an artsy movie that made no sense to me, but with the exception of those 2, Star Trek and Out of Africa, we either mentioned or we drafted all of them. Yeah, in the top 10. So that's pretty good. All right. Okay, I think we're done. We got a good range here. I appreciate you guys coming today.
Yeah, thanks.
And I want to see the 2 of you on the Three Amigos pod because that looks like it's going to be fun. It's a sweater. All right, because of that quote, Mike wins. How about that? That was your first movie.
Down to a quarter.
El Guapo. What is El Guapo in English? I want to know.
Handsome.
It means handsome.
Always handsome. Yeah.
Okay, so the handsome man.
Yeah. So
that's perfect.
Although when the girl is talking to the other girl, do you know anything about foreplay? No, neither does El Guapo. Yeah.
That explains his first pick.
There we go.
We figured it out. We figured it out.
Yeah, sexiest. That's it. That's me. Yeah.
All right. Well, there was a question I asked you guys earlier. I think we answered it. I wanted to know your call sign. Michael, we figured it out. You are El Guapo.
Oh, God, take that. I would love that. Yeah, thank you.
In a jet fighter flying across. There goes El Guapo. All right. Well done, guys. I appreciate you guys coming. And the cafe doors are closing. See you guys.